Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska. We present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. As we start your day, this is a Wednesday, the 29th day of January for 2025. Ready to get going here this morning, talking about the Hastings College women's basketball team. They will be on the road tonight in Omaha to take on the College of St. Mary's. We'll tell you about that coming up. A couple of Hastings High brothers are committed to play football next year at Hastings College. That's some big news out of the Bronco camp. We'll tell you about that here this hour. A lot of high school basketball played in the area last night. The Centennial Conference basketball tournament got into their quarterfinal round. The Central Conference tournament also into their quarterfinal round. We've got the results coming up and a lot more to discuss as we get you going on this Wednesday morning as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios here this morning. Good morning.
And good morning to you, Mike, as we continue to roll along here midweek. And boy, it's been a beautiful start to the week. Really got the opportunity to enjoy yesterday's weather, and hopefully that will continue as we move along through the week. On the news front, we're going to be talking a little bit about a high-speed chase over in Kearney. We talked excessive speeds before. This one might take the cake. And we'll also dive into what's going on over at the state capitol. Another renewed push for some school choice legislation is raising a few eyebrows and ruffling a few feathers. And we're also going to head over to Hastings College as they've got their first event planned in the Dorr Center for Civic Engagement. We'll dive into the deets on that. So lots to get to here as we hit the midweek and conference tournament time, rolling right along with Adams Central and then the Centennial Conference tournament and gonna be a good show.
Hastings St. Cecilia girls, they were in action last night in the Centennial Conference tournament. They beat Aquinas second time in about 4 days. They played them last Friday night during the regular season. They got matched up with them again in the quarterfinal round, and it was a defensive struggle last night as St. Cecilia won over Aquinas by the score of 29-20. So the Hawkettes will play at the number one seed Lincoln Christian coming up on Thursday. The Crusaders rolling to a 67-19 victory over Archbishop Bergan last night in the quarterfinal round. The Adams Central teams, they were in action last night at home. The Adams Central girls failed to make it out of the quarterfinal round. They were trying to make it a three-peat in the Central Conference tournament as far as the championship is concerned, but Adams Central beaten last night by Crete by a score of 51-44. So Adams Central will play in the consolation game coming up on Saturday. Meanwhile, the Adams Central boys, they were winners over Columbus Lakeview last night, winning by a score of 54-47. So the Patriots will move on. They'll play in the semifinal round on Friday night against Crete as the Cardinals beat York last night by a score of 62-45. So those are just some of the high school games played around the area last night in high school basketball. So, well, we'll get some comments coming up. We've ran into Josh Lewis, who's one of the assistant coaches for the Adams Central girls basketball team. We'll talk to him on the show today. Also, Tom Slechta, who's an assistant basketball coach for the boys team for Adams Central. He's going to be joining us later on this hour as well. So we'll hear from them as the Patriots will move on in the Central Conference tournament.
So rolling, like I said, rolling right along there on that side of things. Also, we were been talking about this over the course of the week with Nebraska's losing streak and outside looking in. Did happen to find the latest projections in March, which are always fun to highlight. And interestingly enough, there is two teams from Nebraska that are currently slated to make their way into the NCAA basketball tournament. However, one of them is, of course, not UNL. University of Omaha now slides into a potential opportunity to play in one of the play-in games. This, again, according to the latest projections from CBS Sports. Your number one seeds, my Duke Blue Devils, the Alabama Crimson Tide, Iowa State is still at a number one seed, as well as Auburn. Creighton currently slated in a potential 8-9 seed matchup, so a win and they are taking on the number one seed. But as we know, that 8-9 is always kind of a sneaky bracket predictor. So just thought it was interesting. Just taking a look at the latest projections. I geek out about this kind of stuff. So no Huskers, but UNO now could potentially be representing the state of Nebraska in the March Madness basketball tournament if they continue to play to form.
Now that is interesting. Yeah, the Huskers are on a 6-game losing streak. They're going to play tomorrow against Illinois at home. Huskers got to find something here at the end of the season. Number one, they're going to be out of the Big Ten conference tournament. That would not be good. And certainly the big dance is so far away. So maybe Creighton and UNO, huh?
Yeah, Creighton and UNO right now, and Nebraska, I mean, right now they're just playing to get into the conference tournament, right? I mean, they need to find some wins. They need to find some wins in a hurry. This downhill slide has got to figure itself out, but apparently the Mavericks kind of slated to finish highly up in their conference, potentially playing one of those play-in games for a 16 seed, and I didn't realize that UNO was having that much of an impressive season until I popped up the March Madness latest projections and you see the Mavericks. So, and interestingly enough, they'd be on the same side, Creighton and UNO. But again, all that is going to work itself out as we
we're still a long way.
Tournament. Still a very long way. It's not even February yet. So, but those are the early projections there from CBS Sports.
I saw that Philadelphia, as far as the Super Bowl is concerned, since they're the home team, they get to choose their jersey color for the Super Bowl. They've chosen their green jerseys. Their green jerseys for the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, so that leaves Kansas City in white for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
That's good because the teams wearing white in the Super Bowl have won 16 out of the last 20 games.
I mean,
yeah, there's an interesting fact for you that you can take to the water cooler this morning as you talk with your employees. Teams wearing white in the Super Bowl have won 16 out of the last 20 games. Philadelphia got their choice yesterday. They chose their green jerseys as they're going to be the home team of the Super Bowl. So Kansas City says, that's all right. We'll wear white. Where white teams have won 16 out of the last 20 games in the Super Bowl.
Are they rolling with their dark green jerseys, or are we?
They call them midnight greens or whatever color that is.
So it's not like the bright green and gray early 90s, late 80s.
I didn't know there was
jerseys.
two different kinds of jerseys for Philadelphia.
Yep, they had like a very bright green. If you remember back in like the early 90s, Randall Cunningham era, always thought those were maybe a little bit more flashy than this midnight green. So, but yeah, going with the standard home Eagles uniforms, but really white jerseys, huh? 16 and 20.
16 out of the last 20 games.
We in Nebraska, anything in the white jerseys is a scary proposition because
nobody likes us wearing white. But what difference
we put
does
in
it
all
make?
whites and it's awful.
What difference does it make?
Yeah.
7:09, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Again, we'd love to have you join us on our discussion here today. Drop us a comment on Facebook Live or wherever you're watching us, or better yet, give us a call. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. Get right into the studios and to talk with us. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. Whether it's sports related or not, give us a call. We'll chat about it here. A couple other notes I pulled out this morning. Brittany Griner, after 11 seasons with the Phoenix Mercury, the 10-time WNBA All-Star, has agreed to a one-year deal. She's going to play for the Atlanta Dream now.
All right.
I know that really excites you. I can tell by your reaction. Anyway, she spent her entire career in Phoenix after being drafted number 1 overall in 2013. She heads to Atlanta now in one of the most stunning free agency signings in league history.
I'll be honest. I mean, the Caitlin Clark effect has had such an effect that I didn't realize that Brittany Griner was even still in the league. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. If you're paying attention to the WNBA, that's kind of who you have your eyeballs on, and right now that effect is very real. Into the point where you make a significant free agency move from a player that's been in the league 10 years that quite frankly you've forgotten about. Because of the impact that just one player has had for one team. I mean, they were in the doldrums, and Caitlin Clark takes that team and makes a little postseason run at it, and it's been remarkable what she's been able to accomplish, the numbers she's been able to push up, and so yeah, I mean, I think any conversation around the WNBA has certainly centered around what's Caitlin Clark done. What's she doing tomorrow? Who's the game coming up? That's the impact that's had.
The 6'9" Griner missed the 2022 campaign when she was wrongfully detained in Russia for nearly 10 months. Eventually freed in a high-profile prisoner exchange and returned to All-Star form in 2023 and 2024. She averaged 17.8 points, 6.6 rebounds per game in 2024. So Brittany Griner, a former member of the Phoenix Mercury, now going to play for the Atlanta Dream in the WNBA. Got some coaching news around the NFL we might talk about.
Yeah.
Washington Commanders offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury has elected not to pursue the head coaching job at New Orleans. So Kingsbury is evidently staying at Washington. He was the apparent front runner to take over the job at New Orleans. He had previously declined all potential coaching interviews while the Commanders were still in the playoffs, making him a long shot to take a job this year. But the Saints really wanted Cliff Kingsbury from Washington. It looks like he is out. He's going to stay put. So now the Saints, the only team that hasn't named a head coach yet, they're believed to be chasing New York Giants offensive coordinator Mike Kafka, Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver, and Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. So that job probably won't be filled until after the Super Bowl because Kellen Moore is a candidate for the job, and he's with the Eagles, and damn, he don't have time to discuss any job openings this week. He's getting ready for the Super Bowl.
Slim pickings left on the coordinator search. Did you say the offensive coordinator for the New York Giants? Like, did they have an offense?
Yeah, the New York Giants offensive coordinator Mike Kafka.
Yeah, I think they put up an outstanding 6-point average this season.
Yeah, I don't know why he would be
I'd pass.
a candidate for the New Orleans Saints job, but he's on the list.
Do you suppose Cliff Kingsbury realized that he's been there, done that, tried that, and with the Arizona Cardinals, and it didn't work out, and maybe he realizes that, hey, I'm more stronger as an offensive coordinator in this system. We're primed and we're in a position to be successful. I don't want the responsibilities and the drama that ensues with being a head coach and instantly being back on the chopping block and could be without a job. Do you suppose he's just found a kind of a security in the OC?
Yeah, he was the.
Or is New Orleans a mess?
I just think I think Cliff wants a head coaching job again. I think I read something not too long ago that said he would like to be a head coach again. This is just probably not right for him. The Saints. He was the head coach of the Cardinals from 2019 to 2022. But hey, Skins fans or Commanders fans, whoever you want to call them, Cliff Kingsbury looks like he's going to be staying put for at least one more year.
There you go. Another year with Jaden Daniels. That's not too bad.
Brian Belichick, who has spent the last 5 seasons on the New England Patriots staff as the safeties coach. He's not going to return in 2025.
Shocker.
He's the youngest son of a former Patriots coach, Bill Belichick. Grew up a fan of the team, spent 9 years on the staff, first as a personnel assistant in 2016, then as a coaching assistant from 2017 to 2019 before being elevated to the safeties coach in 2020. New regime, new head coach in New England, and Brian Belichick is out now at New England. What's the chances of him landing on Dad's staff in North Carolina?
Real high, because that's the kind of the go figure mentality, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there provisions within that contract that would give his son essentially the reins or the opportunity when Bill was done?
So chances are Brian's just going to slide over and coach at North Carolina with his dad.
Yep, that's
not a big move there.
Not a big surprise. Comments coming in from the Facebook. We've got Ryan Martin says Kansas surviving a scare last night of losing 2 back-to-back home games.
Wow.
In the Bill Self era. They won at Central Florida by 56 and then beat Central Florida at home by 4.
It happens. It happens.
That's
Good thing Ryan Martin is keeping us up to date on KU basketball.
Yeah.
They're just outside the nation's top 10 right now. I think they're number 11 this week.
Right, but picked up a heartbreaker over the weekend to Houston, and so we'll see how the rankings go. But they'll be there in March.
Continuing on,
yes.
I got more NFL news. Dallas Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer has hired the former head coach for the Chicago Bears to be his defensive coordinator.
All right.
That was what was his name? Eberflus.
Eberflus?
Yeah, remember him?
Yeah.
He was a head coach for the Bears for nearly 3 seasons, got fired back on November 29th in the midst of a 6-game losing streak. He was 14-32 as a head coach, but had a solid run as the defensive coordinator of the Colts. Mm-hmm. He was there from 2018 to 2021. In his first season, the Colts went from number 30 in scoring and total defense to numbers 10 and 11, respectively. In 3 of his 4 seasons, the Colts had a top 10 scoring defense, and twice they were top 10 in yards.
Like I said,
he previously served on the Dallas Cowboys staff under Jason Garrett when he was there. He was there for 7 seasons. So Eberflus is heading back to Dallas.
I think that there are some coaches, like I mentioned with Cliff, right? There's some coaches that are just more successful in the coordinator role. Mike Martz,
yep,
great offensive coordinator, terrible head coach. Steve Spagnuolo, great defensive coordinator, not so good as a head coach. It's funny that I'm naming all Rams coaches and coordinators because they've seemed to do that quite a bit. But and I don't know that you could throw Cliff Kingsbury in the mix. I would like to see him with another shot at a head coaching role. But Eberflus is a defensive coordinator. There's been several, and some guys are just meant to be coordinators. Period. I don't know about Eric Bieniemy because he's never got the opportunity. We don't know.
His name haven't even surfaced.
It has not scratched the surface. There's got to be something.
All the coaching vacancies that we had in the NFL this year, and for that matter, in the college ranks too. And Eric Bieniemy's name has never once been brought up in any of those coaching searches.
Did you hear?
Yeah, there's something going on with him.
Speaking of coaching searches, did you see the comments from Michael Irvin on the Dallas coaching hire?
I have not.
I mean, if you're Schottenheimer and you're coming in and you're immediately greeted by some of these Cowboy greats is you're not the guy I wanted. It was basically the message that we got yesterday from Michael Irvin, and he was talking about that he thought that Coach Prime was going to be a great opportunity for the Dallas Cowboys organization, and that he had a lot of conversation with Prime and with Jerry and trying to make that connection happen. And obviously that falls through. And so you're Brian Schottenheimer, and you're immediately greeted with one of the best wide receivers of your franchise saying, well, that's not the guy I wanted. I mean, how deflating.
Yeah, I still think there was something behind that story. It had to be something with Prime's sons.
Sure.
They didn't take that job. He really didn't get an interview. They were just talking with Deion Sanders about that job. I don't think he officially got
No.
a real interview, did he?
Well, and I know like part of the clause would have been obviously to try to draft up and trade up to get a high draft pick to try to get Shedeur. I think that was certainly one of the things that he was eyeballing NFL jobs for, or even entertaining offers, was the opportunity to continue to coach his sons. And I'm not quite sure that Dallas was ready to do that. And so if Dallas wasn't ready to go after Shedeur, then those conversations probably ended pretty quickly.
So Deion hanging out at Colorado, at least for now.
Sure.
We'll see how long that lasts. All right.
Yeah, put the timer on it.
Yeah. All right, 7:20 here. You're waking up on a Wednesday morning with Mike and Tyson. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports as we get our first update on news here this morning.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Local news this hour brought to you by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, where since 1946, the credit union has been a part of the Hastings community, and its community that is at the heart of everything they do. As a nonprofit financial cooperative, the credit union is owned by the members who join, and joining, well, it's as simple as opening a primary savings account. And with a convenient drive-up 24-hour ATM and a friendly staff that knows each member by name, why would you go anywhere else? That's Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online at hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. We'll start off this morning on the campus of Hastings College, where Dr. Michael Butler will be exploring the complex history of Confederate monuments in a free public lecture that is coming up on Thursday, February 6th at 6:30 at Hastings College. The talk marks the inaugural presentation in the Dorr Center for Civic Engagement. Butler, a college professor specializing in Southern cultural history, has been a part of the forefront of discussions surrounding Confederate memorials. His research reveals the monuments are more than simple remembrances, but deliberate attempts to reshape historical narratives about the Civil War and Reconstruction era. The lecture is free and open to the public. Meanwhile, in Kearney, a 16-year-old maxed out his Corvette in a high-speed chase Monday. The Nebraska State Patrol said the Corvette was clocked at more than 130 miles an hour near the I-80 interchange just before 10 p.m. The driver refused to yield before reaching speeds of 168 miles per hour. The driver then turning east on Highway 6 turned towards Minden, but troopers were able to successfully use stop sticks to bring the chase to an end. And we head over to the state capitol, where just 3 months after voters told lawmakers they didn't want school choice scholarships, a group of senators is renewing their push for school choice scholarships. During the last legislative session, lawmakers passed school choice legislation. However, a successful effort to repeal the law won the day as voters approved the repeal effort by a 57% voter margin. But senators are trying again. Senator Tony Serranto has now introduced a bill that would provide up to $25 million a year in scholarships funded by donors, who then would receive a tax credit for their donations. It is now coming up on 7:24. Let's flip it over back to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
The guy was driving 168 miles an hour.
168 miles per hour. My car would fall apart before it got up to that speeds.
No doubt. Anyway, in sports, the Nebraska basketball teams will be in action tomorrow night. The men will try to halt a 6-game losing streak when they play host to Illinois at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Tip-off will be at 7:30. The women will play at Purdue. Tip-off will be at 6 o'clock. Hastings College women's basketball team will play in Omaha tonight against the College of St. Mary's. The Broncos are 14-6 on the season, 9-5 in the conference after Saturday's 106-51 win over Waldorf. The Flames are 1-20. They're 0-15 in the league. Earlier this season, Hastings set the all-time school record for points in a game against St. Mary's, winning 116-52 at Lynn Farrell Arena. Game time will be at 6 o'clock tonight. We'll have the action here on Extreme Sports, beginning with the pregame show at 5:45. Rachel Gooden of Hastings College has been named the Women's Basketball Defensive Player of the Week in the Great Plains Athletic Conference. Gooden had 8 rebounds, 3 blocks, and a steal in Saturday's game against Waldorf. She also contributed 13 points on 83% shooting in just 21 minutes of playing time. Jarrett and Tucker Sinek of Hastings High have announced their commitments to Hastings College. Jarrett was going to be spending his final year of eligibility with the Broncos after previous stops at Nebraska and South Dakota State. He played for the Tigers from 2018 to 2020 and threw for 5,622 yards and 65 touchdowns in 31 games. Tucker, he was a starting quarterback from 2022 to 2024 and threw for 4,751 yards and 33 touchdowns in 30 games. Hastings College went 2-9 last season and parted ways with offensive coordinator Ken Fasnock at the end of the season. The Broncos have hired James Bauer from Kansas Wesleyan to replace him. Former St. Cecilia standout Carson Kolachek was a starter last season, but he was benched about halfway through the season in favor of Cassius Campbell. High school basketball action from last night. Norris beat the Hastings High boys 79-58. The Tigers are now 8-8 on the season. Hastings High girls lost to Norris 60-23. The Tigers are now 4-12. In the Centennial Conference basketball tournament last night, St. Cecilia girls got by Aquinas 29-20. The Hawkettes will play at top-seeded Lincoln Christian on Thursday. The Crusaders beat Archbishop Bergen last night 67-19. In the other games, Bishop Neumann beat Grand Island Central Catholic 55-40, and Scotus defeated Kearney Catholic 56-20. On the boys' side, Central Catholic defeated Neumann 49-32. Boys Town surprised Scotus 56-44. Omaha Concordia beat Archbishop Bergen 64-60, and Lincoln Lutheran beat Lincoln Christian 67-52. In the Central Conference tournament last night, the Adams Central girls lost to Crete 51-44. York beat Columbus Lakeview 58-29. Northwest defeated Aurora 54-27, and Seward rolled past Schuyler 72-37. On the boys' side of the Central Conference tournament, Adams Central beat Columbus Lakeview 54-47. Crete ran past York 62-45. Northwest got by Seward 65-59, and Aurora beat Lexington last night by a score of 81-44. That's a chunk of your sports headlines this morning, 7:27 now on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
We are still in the midst of some gorgeous weather, and the nicest day of the week is on tap for today with plenty of sunshine, a high in the mid-50s, and a light wind of 5 miles per hour. Hey, everybody, Tim Jones, Nebraska Weather TV. Still staying on the mild side the rest of the week, and we'll even bring in chances for some rain on Thursday with the high of 47 degrees. Maybe a little bit of mix on Thursday night as we head in the weekend. Plenty of sunshine and a high in the mid to upper 50s as well.
Right now, we've got northwest winds at 6 miles per hour. It's 27 degrees in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Conant Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connett Auto Care is here for you.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Extreme Sports has been bringing you the exclusive home of Hastings College Athletics, and we're just getting started. Thanks to our incredible sponsors and your support, Extreme Sports 2 has been a huge success. And now we're excited to announce the launch of Extreme Sports 3. With Extreme Sports 3, you'll get even more local sports coverage. Plus, 24/7 access to Sports by Line, where you'll hear the best in national sports talk. Whether it's Hastings College, high school action, or the latest from around the sports world, we've got it covered across all 3 streams. And don't forget, when we're not broadcasting games, join us weekday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for Huddle Up with Mike Will and Tyson Havronik. It's the perfect way to start your day with sports, news, weather, and great local interviews. So tune in, check out all 3 streams, and stay with us for even more sports coverage coming soon. Thank you to our sponsors for making it all possible, and to you, our listeners, for keeping Extreme Sports strong.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Havronik here on Extreme Sports. Huddle up for a Wednesday. Again, thanks for joining us, whether you're listening to us on our website at x-streamsports.com, maybe on your smartphone with our free mobile app on your way to work or school here this morning, maybe on your smart speaker, Roku TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, we're everywhere that you are. Thanks for joining us. Again, leave us a message if you'd like to be a part of the conversation. We'd love to have you. If you'd like to call into us, we'll talk to you. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number, whether it be sports related or not. Love to chat with you here today. Shall we move into basketball a little bit?
Talk some hoops with,
talk some hoops.
Lou and Schlechter?
Yeah, we had basketball last night on the Extreme Sports. We were out at the Patriots gym for the Adams Central games in the Central Conference basketball tournament. The Adams Central girls played an ugly game with Crete last night. Kendall Consbrook, one of the top scorers for Adams Central, did not play. Adams Central had a tough time cracking a zone defense for Crete last night, and the Patriots lost to Crete by a score of 51-44. The Adams Central girls had won the 2 previous Central Conference tournament championships, so they will not three-peat. They'll play in a consolation game on Saturday. We caught up with the assistant coach for Adams Central, Josh Lewis, after the ball game. He chatted with us last night. Coach, disappointing game in the first contest, losing to Crete 51-44, losing to the Cardinals in the quarterfinal round. I guess your comments on the first ball game here tonight.
Yeah, they're when you look at us and you look at them, and quite frankly, a lot of teams, there's just a lot of wiggle room for who plays well on a certain night and who doesn't. And in some instances, maybe it's a quarter you play well, and that's enough to kind of get the job done. And we kind of had a lapse. We didn't score for, most of that fourth quarter. And it's hard to win basketball when you don't score points.
Yeah, I think you had a 5.5 minute scoring drought in the fourth quarter. You ended up going 2 out of 11 in the quarter. And like you said, the shots were there. They just weren't going down. It was a tough night for us.
Yeah, they made it tough on us. we knew they were a little bit longer than us, but they were much longer in real life than they looked like on film, and our girls really struggle with that length. And then when you get a clean look, you sometimes doubt if you're going to be able to get that off as clean as maybe you want to, and so you maybe rush shots a little bit and you don't get to like what you like. And they extended that 1-3-1 and kind of gave us problems with their length again comes into play on that, and we turned it over a little bit too much, and that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, Coach talked about making shots tonight against that zone. If we didn't make shots, it was going to be a long night, and that was the case tonight, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if we didn't turn it over, we did a good job of getting good looks. So, if you limit those turnovers and we get more of those good looks, obviously that helps us kind of make buckets. But, just didn't give ourselves enough chances to overcome. We didn't let the numbers play in our favor. We just got behind them.
Playing without Kendall Consbrook tonight, probably a huge disadvantage for you with her on the bench.
Yeah, when you're talking about that pressure and those turnovers, she alleviates a lot of that, when we have her and Annie and Briley able to kind of work in tandem to get that pressure off of us, it makes a big difference. And for sure, not having her be able to even just dribble through that kind of stuff, it makes it tough.
We've talked about the offense all season long. It's really a struggle all season long. Your defense is playing well for the most part, but offensively, you just can't get enough shots to go down.
Yeah, I think when you look at anything with us, it's about consistency right now, and we'll have stretches where we play really good defense, and then we'll give up about 8 points in a minute and a half, and the same is true offensively. We'll have a little run where we score 6 or 7 points in a spurt, and then it's just bone dry for a while. So consistently getting good offense to pair with when we're competing well defensively is a big deal for us right now.
We always say throughout the years it's a work in progress, Coach, but I'll tell you what, the time's slipping away. You've got a consolation game now coming up this weekend in this conference tournament, a couple of more regular season games, and before you know it, we're into the postseason.
Yeah, we talked to the girls tonight about again, just the what we have ahead of us. We can win a lot of those games. They're winnable for us, and they're kind of those 50-50 type games, but we have to play well to make it 50-50. So got to kind of refocus. You can't dwell on this one too long. Learn from it and move on, and again start growing into some roles. I know we've had half a season, or a little over, but we still got to get some growth out of some girls to get where we want to get.
Now you play in a consolation game of a conference tournament. Never easy to play in a consolation game, Coach. Go on the road to Columbus to do that, but you got to take what's next, and that's that consolation game.
Yeah. So we'll play. I think it'll be the 7th and 8th place game, maybe up there, or 5th and 6th, whatever. However they code it, I don't know. So we'll go up there, and I'm assuming Lakeview is probably who we'll get. I didn't see the final on that, but that would be my assumption. And we went from potentially hosting a game Thursday to having to go to Lakeview and their home, and we played our preseason game against them, and they caused us some problems with their zone again, and their guard play is pretty good, and so it's probably going to be a similar kind of thing. Got to take care of the ball and knock down a couple shots.
Well, what do you tell your team now to try to finish out the season as strong as you can?
Yeah, it's about mental fortitude. We got to be tough mentally, and don't let doubt creep in that we're not. We can be competitive. We can go blow for blow, and we just got to find a way to get some W's and get our swagger back and compete. So it's all about between the ears at this point, and cleaning some things up and staying the course.
All right, good luck Saturday.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
That is Josh Lewis. He's the assistant coach for Evan Smith out at Adams Central, following the Patriots loss last night to Crete, 51-44. So Adams Central will be hosting the semifinals in the Central Conference Tournament on Thursday night. It'll be Crete taking on York, as York beat Columbus Lakeview last night. Northwest will play in the other semifinal game against Seward. So Northwest beating Aurora last night, and Seward rolling past Schuyler. So that's the semifinals. 2 games on Thursday night out at Adams Central in the girls semifinals of the Central Conference Tournament.
Yeah, and nice for Lewis to be able to join us on Huddle Up here, and you catch him after the game a night ago, and you're right. You just offensive consistency has been an issue. It's been a struggle for the Pats this season, but you just got to go in there with that approach that you're a lot of times when you struggle to score offensively, you can become really timid as a shooter, and you can pass up good looks because there's that seed of doubt that they haven't been going in this season. Let's move the ball somewhere else. Let somebody else get the opportunity at it. You still got to take the looks. If you get the looks, you can't be afraid to try to knock them down. And once one shot starts to fall, it could be a roller coaster for them. So you can't be timid, and you got to take your opportunities when you can get them. And if the AC girls can do that this weekend, they'll be in good spot to knock off Lakeview.
All right, the boys' side of things in the Central Conference tournament last night, Adams Central held on to beat Columbus Lakeview 54-47. Patriots had a 12-point lead in the first half of this ball game, and things are going real well for Adams Central. After halftime, it was a different story. Lakeview, they attacked the Adams Central zone defense a little differently in the second half, went on a huge run, and Adams Central had to hold off Lakeview at the end to win 54-47. We met up with Adams Central assistant coach Tom Slechta.
Coach, a nail-biter there. You had a double-digit lead late in the second quarter, couldn't hang on, and really had to go toe-to-toe with the Lakeview in the second half. Talk about this.
Yeah, Mike, you said it right when you said hang on. It's kind of like when you're 12 hanging on that tree branch, just hoping it doesn't break. That's what it felt like, in that third quarter. I think they must have went on, a 12-2 run or something like that, 12-4 run against us in that third. And, it felt like the ball was on that side of the court the entire third quarter. We weren't doing a good job of getting enough rebounds. We weren't doing a good job of not fouling. We were fouling too much. And so we kept putting them at the free throw line, especially in the bonus. And at the end of quarters, we just didn't do a good job of recognizing, you don't want to foul them, whether it's into the first half, we fouled them with 3 seconds to go. Into the third, we fouled them twice in the bonus. You can't do that in these games.
Third quarter, they crushed us on the offensive boards, and that's really is what got them back into the ballgame.
Yeah, credit to Columbus Lakeview and Tyler Colvin's team. They play super hard, and all their guys are scrappy, and they just go at it. And number 11 just kept pounding us on the boards, and all their guys, their big number 50 and 0. And so those guys they were relentless on the boards, just playing like it was the last game of the season.
Hunter Nepple picked up 4 fouls in the third quarter, and then you had to kind of pick his spots to give him some time there in the fourth quarter. That was like juggling a jigsaw puzzle, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So I always tell Coach Foster, you can't take him home, and apparently Hunter is not taking his fouls home. He got his 5th foul with about a minute or so to go. So that's a tough thing. You keep him out on defensive possessions. Do you leave him in? If you don't have him in, there's live possessions, and they score and you can't get a timeout. That's a problem. So, that was a tough situation. Foster looked at the bench and said, I didn't know he had 4. That was on us. I don't know how we didn't communicate that he had 4. We are usually on top of that, obviously, with the All-Stater and Hunter Nepple.
Austin Bonce, he stepped up when Hunter was on the bench. He finishes with 18 points, had 14 of them in the second half.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. I did not know that. We knew he was playing great, but the other night he played awesome against GICC. Mike, he only had 2 points, which is remarkable, right? And then tonight he has 18. That's a credit to Austin Bonson, the way he plays. When he scores 2, 4, 6, or 18, he always plays so hard. He's just steady, Eddie, and even. And the one thing you're always going to get from Austin is he's going to play so hard he's going to get fouls, and he might foul out as well. So.
Talk about the defense. We talked with Coach in the pregame about your switching defense, your 1-2-2 defense now. What'd you see out of the defense tonight?
Well, I told Coach Tyler Colvin after the game, I said, well, great job on our defense. He started to make us look really dumb. They were slipping guys underneath the bottom of it. And so our middle guy on that 1-2-2 was guarding no one. So he didn't put anybody at the top and nobody at that mid-level. So we got to figure out when they're doing that, are we going to drop our middle? Because they just kept sliding guys underneath. They would go corner, high post, low, and we didn't know how to defend it. It's kind of hard to coach in game. And so we were joking after the game that some of our student managers were yelling, Green's not the greatest defense. So we went red. So we went back to our 1-3-1. And so we played some man tonight. So we still got to figure that out. We obviously played our best defensive game against GICC, but it was about the rebound. So that's the other big thing. If we can rebound out of green or if we can rebound a red or man-to-man, that's probably the biggest thing. But, yeah, we're still trying to figure it out with where to put Hunter, where to put, some of our guys in our defenses so we can maximize them.
So Adams Central moves on to the semifinals. Of course, the goal is to get to the Saturday in the championship game. But, boy, you got to win tonight. Like you said, we had to hang on to get to the semifinals. And now another challenge coming up on the Friday night.
Yeah, anytime you're playing in any part of this tournament, it's usually going to be pretty tough unless you are just like one of the top 3 teams in the state. That's just the way it is. I remember both when we made the semis and the finals, we struggled in the first round, actually, Mike. We struggled to win those games. They were like tough, hard-fought games till the fourth quarter because everybody in this conference is usually athletic. They're usually pretty physical. So we expect nothing less when we play in every round in the Central 10.
Just got the numbers into the ball game. Lakeview out-rebounds you guys in the second half, 20-13. They ended up out-rebounding you guys for the game, 33-26. So that was a big stat. That's the one that got them back into the ballgame.
Yeah, that's a huge stat. And so that's the effort one that we got to talk about and fix because against GICC we were playing at a higher, as far as motor was higher. And you could see that first quarter I thought our motor was very similar to what it was on Saturday. And Coach Foster said that. He said we got up 12 in that second quarter. And it was like all of a sudden we were just like, oh, yeah, we're good. And we just relaxed. And that's when the rebounds started to come. And then they came in a flurry from those guys.
So that is Tom Selecta following the Adams Central victory last night over Columbus Lakeview. So the Adams Central boys move on to the semifinals. They'll play on Friday. So the girls semifinals on Thursday out at Adams Central. The boys semifinals will be on Friday. It'll be Adams Central taking on Crete in the second game at 7:45. The first one at 6. We'll have Aurora taking on Northwest on Friday night, and then the championship game will be played on Saturday up in Columbus.
A lot of local flavor there in the Central 10 with Aurora and Northwest, Adams Central all making their way down to the semifinal round. And God, I love Selecta, man. Like, you talk to him, and he's one of the guys where he breaks down basketball in ways that's very easy to understand. If you have a person that's like never paid attention to basketball, right? Like brand new to this whole thing called sports ball that me and you love so much, and you're sitting down and he's breaking it down in a way that's really easy to understand. He's got that ability. Like, I'd love to bring him into my my online news and sports class to teach basketball when we come up and have our March project about how to write stories, because he just does. He breaks it down. He's really good at with that ability. So yeah, I mean, from the Adams Central perspective, I think lessons learned from this week. You build up a lead. You can't take your foot off the gas. You can't get comfortable, especially conference tournament time. And you got to clean up those defensive rebounds. You got to be able to box out and clean up that glass and not give teams second and sometimes even third chance opportunities. Do that, you're gonna have a really good chance of being successful. But yeah, really good to hear from my buddy Selecta today.
Yeah, just a couple of comments there from Josh Lewis and Tom Selecta following Adams Central's games last night. One other thing I wanted to get to.
Yeah.
Did you see last night, evidently, a fight in the stands?
The St. Louis, Virginia Commonwealth.
Yeah, Virginia Commonwealth was playing St. Louis in St. Louis. They were well into the game. Let's see, about a minute and 10 seconds remaining in regulation. A fight broke out in the stands, and they had to stop the game because the fight, evidently, the brawl got into the floor and down around the bench area, and they had to stop the game. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I think, it halted it for a good 10 to 15 minutes, if memory serves me correctly. I don't watch any of the highlights to that crap. It's just, for me, it's difficult to watch because that's not what sports is all about. That's not why we go pay our hard-earned money and go and support these schools and support these players and support these teams to get into a stupid freaking brawl. Grow up, behave, be a human being. I think we've lost that ability. Because you're seeing it more and more, and it's not just college basketball. I mean, it's across sports. We've seen more stories, even freaking Pee-wee football, where you got fans running out onto the field and screaming after officials. Learn how to sports again. Learn how to watch. Learn how to be. I don't even know what the word is that I want to use, but it infuriates me and frustrates me, and there's no reason that you should have to, look at a sports ticket and think, man, I really want to go to this game, but there's a good chance that drunken Bill goes behind me and picks a fight. You shouldn't have to focus on that or fixate on that, and we shouldn't be stopping games because fans can't behave themselves. We're going to get to the point where we go back in 2020 and you're going to have no fans in the stands, and that sucked for everybody. Grow up and behave.
St. Louis ended up beating Virginia Commonwealth after a several-minute delay. 78-69 was the final score last night. But, yeah, fans wrestling in the stands, got into a brawl, knocked over some rows of seats onto the floor, and they had to stop the game for a while.
And how do you, from a player's perspective and even coach's perspective, how do you re-rally the troops after that?
You just sit there and stare and go, are you kidding me?
You're staring and you're, if it's family of those involved, you're embarrassed beyond no end, and you're frustrated, and you're wondering if, and that's in the back of your mind as you're playing a game. Well, one of those could break out again, and you're listening and you're being more attentive to what's being said out in the stands. I just think it's, again, I shake my head. That's all you can do, right? Just shake your head at society.
Yeah. Louis, did you see? He just said it goes along with the word respect. I guess, it says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It says it all. Anyway, that happened last night. If you happen to miss that on the Sports Center or wherever you watch your sports highlights. 7:51 this morning. You're waking up with Mike and Tyson here on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
News this hour brought to you by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, where they've been lighting the way to financial success since 1946. Hastings Federal Credit Union, proud to be your trusted long-term financial partner. Access your accounts wherever you go with mobile banking. It brings you the financial peace of mind straight from the palm of your hand, where you can securely and conveniently manage your accounts and loans at any time from anywhere. Transfer funds, deposit checks. You can pay bills with Bill Pay and quickly access your account balances to help cover whatever little curveballs life throws your way with mobile banking today. One of the many ways you get to experience the credit union difference, that's Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online, hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. Let's start at the state capitol, where just 3 months have passed since voters told lawmakers they didn't want school choice scholarships. Well, a group of senators is renewing their push for school choice scholarships. During the last legislative session, yes, lawmakers passed school choice legislation. However, a successful effort to repeal that law won the day as voters approved the repeal effort by an impressive 57% voter margin. But senators are trying once again, as Senator Tony Serranto has introduced a bill that would provide up to $25 million a year in scholarships funded by donors who receive a tax credit for their donation. Meanwhile, Dr. Michael Butler will explore the complex history of Confederate monuments in a free public lecture coming up on Thursday, February 6th at 6:30 at Hastings College. The talk marks the inaugural presentation for the Dorr Center for Civic Engagement. Butler has been a college professor specializing in Southern cultural history and has been at the forefront of discussions surrounding Confederate memorials. His research reveals that these monuments are more than simple remembrances, but deliberate attempts to reshape historical narratives about the Civil War and Reconstruction era. The lecture is free and open to the public. And we go speeding in a Corvette as a 16-year-old from Kearney maxed out his Corvette in a high-speed chase Monday. The Nebraska State Patrol clocked a Corvette at over 130 miles an hour near the I-80 interchange just before 10 p.m. But if that's not fast enough, the driver then tried to accelerate away from the State Patrol cruiser at an impressive 168 miles per hour. The driver turned east on Highway 6 towards Minden, but troopers were able to successfully use stop sticks to bring the chase to an end. Wow, that's fast. 7:54 now as we head back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Well, the Hastings College women's basketball team will play in Omaha tonight against the College of St. Mary's. The Broncos are 14-6 in the season, 9-5 in the conference after Saturday's 106-51 win over Waldorf. The Flames are 1-20. They're 0-15 in the league. Earlier this season, Hastings set the all-time school record for points in a game against St. Mary's, winning 116-52 at Lynn Farrell Arena. Game time will be at 6. We'll have the action tonight on Extreme Sports, beginning with a pregame at 5:45. Rachel Gooden of Hastings College has been named the Women's Basketball Defensive Player of the Week in the Great Plains Athletic Conference. She had 8 rebounds, 3 blocks, and a steal in Saturday's game against Waldorf. She also contributed 13 points on 83% shooting in just 21 minutes of action. And Jarrett and Tucker Sinek of Hastings High have announced their commitments to Hastings College. Jarrett will spend his final year of eligibility with the Broncos after previous stops at Nebraska and South Dakota State. He played for the Tigers from 2018 to 2020 and threw for 5,622 yards and 65 touchdowns in 31 games. Tucker was a starting quarterback from 2022 to 2024 and threw for 4,751 yards and 33 touchdowns in 30 games. Hastings College went 2-9 last season and parted ways with offensive coordinator Ken Fasnock at the end of the season. The Broncos have hired James Bauer from Kansas Wesleyan to replace him. Former St. Cecilia standout Carson Kolanchak was the starter last season, but was benched and replaced by Cassius Campbell in the second half of the season. That's a check on sports here this morning, 7:56 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
We are still in the midst of some gorgeous weather, and the nicest day of the week is on tap for today with plenty of sunshine, a high in the mid-50s, and a light wind of 5 miles per hour. Hey, everybody, Tim Jones, Nebraska Weather TV. Still staying on the mild side the rest of the week, and we'll even bring in chances for some rain on Thursday with a high of 47 degrees. Maybe a little bit of mix on Thursday night as we head in the weekend. Plenty of sunshine and a high in the mid to upper 50s as well.
Northwest winds this morning at 6 miles per hour. It's 27 degrees at Extreme Sports.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
All right, you're listening to Huddle Up Extreme Sports for this Wednesday with Mike Will, Tyson Vronic. We told you about the quarterback commitments with Jarrett and Tucker Sinek at Hastings College. That'll be an interesting quarterbacks race starting next fall.
Yeah, do you think it's more of a Jarrett probably potentially getting the reins and Tucker coming in and behind there? But yeah, some good gets, some really good Tiger statistics from their time as in the black and orange, and I saw that news come across yesterday, and that's got to be has Coach Franzen grinning from ear to ear because they're gonna put up some, hopefully some pretty impressive numbers, and it'll be good to get them back to their roots, back at Lloyd Wilson Field, where they had so much success there in their high school careers. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, Carson Kolachek, he is still going to be there.
Yep.
At Hastings, and Cassius Campbell, he came on, played well in spurts last year. He's going to be there, so it's going to be a four-man race, I think, for the top quarterback's job at Hastings College.
It's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah.
You know,
but there's going to be a lot of talent that's not going to be on the field, too. Only one guy can play.
Competition is going to bring out the best in you. And, you know, you got playmakers. That's the thing about it, is those guys are playmakers, so it's going to improve really the whole body, I think, of the team. You know, you name a starter, but when you're in practice, you still got them taking reps and still working on, and they'll improve the team, all of them together. So, yeah, going to be a tight race, and should bring out the best in competition, and we'll have a quarterback next year.
New offensive coordinator on hand too. So. That's just some interesting things popping up on the local scene here today. Again, we'll have a basketball tonight. Hastings College women in Omaha to take on the College of St. Mary's.
Oof. Oof.
Now, wait a minute. It's a conference game.
They've won one game.
They've won one game overall. They're 0-15 in the conference.
Oh, boy.
We beat this team earlier this year, 116-52. It's like Ryan Martin was saying earlier about the KU.
That's right. Right.
They beat, what was it?
Central Florida by 56. Yep.
And last night they held on.
Turned around to win by 4.
Win by 4. So, anyway, we'll have the game tonight. We beat this team 116-52 back in the early part of December. So we'll play in Omaha. Now, it'll be a 6 o'clock start, 5:45 for the pregame show tonight here on Extreme Sports.
Taking an extra stat sheet around.
Well, we've taken some pretty good basketball teams into this facility in Omaha and have not played well. In fact, I can remember a couple of losses that we suffered to the College of St. Mary's over the years, and I've done Hastings College. So
yeah,
we're heavy favorites in the ball game tonight.
Sure.
But that's why we play the game. Ask KU.
Yep.
Ask KU.
Yep. So there you go.
So that's
Safe travels.
That's one of my sports calendar for tonight. Anything else going on for a Wednesday?
We got National Puzzle Day today. It's National Tortilla Day today, or they called it in the calendar Corn Chip Day, but call it what it is, Tortilla Chip Day. So maybe some chips and salsa. Potentially a margarita. That's how my brain operates. Like, it goes from, okay, how can I turn this into like a drinking event? Okay, food. We'll go food and then probably have a marg while we're at it.
All right.
So that's on my agenda.
If you'd like to listen to the show again, you can. Just go to any one of our social media sites. You'll find the podcast section there. You can listen to us. If you're on Roku TV, there's a section there. You can download the show again and listen to it. I can see several reasons why you want to listen to the show today.
Yeah, including me
replay.
Spilling my coffee all over me.
Yeah, you can listen to the show again and enjoy that, and hopefully come back here tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. So have yourself a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.